6 years following the sale, Dominos enjoyed great success under Bain Capital, and in 2004, it became a publicly traded company in New York Exchange. In 2009, Dominos started a heavily advertising marketing called New Inspired Pizza. It is awarded the best pizza chain in 2010, and 96% of Domino's stores are owned by the franchises.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will present about the strategic analysis for Domino's company. For the stage 1, we have 3 factors, which is internal, external, and competitive profile metric. What is IFE, FE, and CPM? IFE is a strategic tool to evaluate firms' internal environment, which is their strength and weaknesses of the organization itself. And for the external, it is to evaluate the external environment, which are the opportunity and threat. And the last factor is a competitive profile metric. It's a strategic tool to compare within another firms or organization and reveal their relative strength and weaknesses. So for IFE metric, basically is have a range from 4 to 1, which is 4 is a major strength, 3 is minor strength, 2 minor weakness, and 1 major weakness, and 4 and 3, which is 4 strength, 2 and 1 is 4 weakness. The average weighted score for the FE basically is 2.5, where it shows that below 2.5 is a weak company and above 2.5 is strong company. As we can see from the Dominos company, the rating for which is major strength for internal factor is the sales and net worth, which is Domino's sales of $7.4 billion in 2012. It has weight 0.12 and rating 4, and weighted score is total 0.48. Also rating, so for strong distribution network, weight 0.08 and rating 4, and the total weighted score is 0.32. And for the weaknesses, major weakness, we have four weaknesses, which are long-term debt, slightly low, slightly to $1.53 billion, and the Domino also does not have mission statement. They only have mission statement. Then over independent on sale from USA, as their major income, major sales come from the USA, where the HQ is there. Then the last one, the weaknesses, is competition based on price. Everything. As we can see, the Domino price is more affordable compared to another pizza rival. Then the last weighted score for strength and weaknesses is 2.50. That shows that Domino's has strong position in their market. So that's all. I will pass to the EFE metric.
Thank you, Reza, for explanation IFE and the introduction of stage 1. And I will proceed to EFE matrix explanation. As you can see, EFE matrix is just like similar with the IFE, but the focus on the external actually. That's why it's the EFE, external factor evaluation matrix, which is analyzing the external factor, which is the opportunities and the threats. And based on the study that before that, I will explain a bit about the basic format of EFE, which is there is a 3 column here important key external factors, and rating is indicator of how effective the current strategic response to the external factors. And weighted score is represent how effective the strategy take an advantage on opportunity and avoiding the trades. And then I will proceed. I will explain a bit about the Dominos case, which is we have found that there is five opportunities, five opportunities in the Dominos, which is first one, the market development in increasing growth and total number of Domino's stores, and new trend. The second one is new trend in the customer behavior, which means fast food options still novel, and new traits in the customer behavior, the large population of customers seeking deals on cheaper and fast food option. Barriers to entry are relatively low for the industry. And the second key external factor is stable free cash flow provides opportunities to invest in adjacent product segments. And basically, I would like to highlight which is the rating and the weighted part, which is the rating itself said the indicator how the effective the current strategic response to the external factor, and weighted the importance key external factor, which means the Dominos actually need to focus on the importance of the key external factor, which is you can see the highest weighted that importance for the external factor is the market development increasing growth on the total number of Dominos store, which is the first one, 0.7, and this indicate also how effective the current strategic response to the external factor. Thus, the Dominos company need to focus on the market development in increasing growth in total number of Dominos store, which is I will explain furthermore in the CPM matrix. And the second opportunities that the Dominos need to focus is stable free cash flow provide opportunities to invest in adjacent product segment. This is related to the first opportunities that I have been talked about, and it is important because the weight of the key factor also is higher, which is I think the second higher, 0.14. And for trades, there are also five key external factor, which is the important one is availability of restaurants option in most places in abandoned, and this is also is related to the first key external factor, which is the market development. And you can see that the strategy also play an important role, which is the indicate the four four rating to this factor. Okay, and high price competitiveness among rival firms also very high importance to the company, and is indicate 3 rating, which means is quite important for the strategy is quite important for the Dominos. And overall, the EFE is 2.95, which means this is mean that the weighted score Dominos is 2.95, which is between the average and the highest total weighted score. It means Dominos still need to improve their strategy to ensure they can effectively takes the advantage of existing opportunities and minimize the potential threats. And that is what I can conclude from the EFP matrix Dominos. And for CPM, CPM can show the suggested. CPM is competitive profile matrix, which is show the suggested firm to evaluate competitor better, especially in some areas. And it means actually in some areas means that there will specifically show the external and internal issue in the competitor company. And rating is also same that rating. There is a rating column in the CPM also. Rating indicator to strengths, and rating indicator is strength and weaknesses of the company, which is like 1 is the major weaknesses, 2 is minor weaknesses, and 3 is the minor strength, and 4 is the major strength. So basically, there is 4 competitors for the Domino's Pizza company, which is Pizza Hut, Papa John, Pizza Inn, and Little Caesars. And Pizza Hut is the strongest company in the industry. Domino's Pizza has positioned as second strongest company in the industry, and Pizza Inn is the weakest company in the industry. So how do we position the competitor company in the industry? So basically we can see the total weighted height shown. There is weighted average total 3.3, and then Little Caesar 3.10, Domino's 2.85, Papa John 2.6, and Pizza Inn 2.0. And basically CPM metric show the overall of the weaknesses and the strengths of the company, the competitor company. But because of CPM metrics is a very it show a very specific in the internal and external factor, means we can also see there is some of the area that competitor there is a strength and weakness. As you can see that Domino's Pizza, Pizza Hut Pizza, even though the Pizza Hut Pizza is overall is the strongest competitor in the pizza industry, but the product quality of Pizza Hut, which indicate only 2, which means the product quality of Pizza Hut is the minor. There is a minor weaknesses of product quality on Pizza Hut product. And Papa John is indicate 4 for product quality, means even though the Papa John is the second last largest competitors in the pizza industry, but the product quality of the Papa John is very high, which is 4. And that is what we can see that CPM metrics can used by the Domino's Pizza to know their competitor well, and they can use the CPM metrics to take the advantage of the competitor position. And I think that's all for IFE, EFE, and CPM. And thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Alright, next will be the SWOT matrix. SWOT stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and which was already which was already discussed in stage 1 regarding the list of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, we came up with this SWOT matrix. So the first one would be, we will discuss about SO strategies. SO stands for strength and opportunities. So how to make opportunity of the strength in Dominos, that is what we are going to discuss about for the first one. So there are more than 10,300 stores in over 70 countries with low entry barriers which can contribute to more revenue to be generated. This was actually taken from strength 2, which would be more than $2 billion of Domino's pizza ordered online annually, and also opportunity 4, which is barriers to entry are relatively low for the industry. So to go back to the SO strategies, since there are more than 10,300 stores and they have low entry barriers among the, less competition and so less barriers, so they can actually come up with more stores since they are already making a lot of revenue. So that would be the first one. And the second one would be, since high revenue is generated through online ordering, Domino's can seek for new innovations to satisfy trends in consumers' behavior in online ordering. This was taken from strength 2, which would be more than $2 billion of Domino's pizza ordered online annually, and it was taken from opportunity 4. New trends in consumers' behavior, whereby large population of customers seeking deals on cheaper and fast food option. So, since they are seeking for a cheaper alternative, cheaper food, and Domino's is also making more revenue through online ordering, why not we try to make opportunity of that by using this trend? So, Domino's can actually seek for new innovations to satisfy trends. Like for example, they can deliver quickly, or they have no delivery charge for the customers, and this kind of innovations through delivery. And the second one would be ST strategies, whereby strength and threats. So the first one would be gain competitive advantage with other available restaurants with strong distribution network. This was taken from strength 6, which would be internal division of total revenue increased. The international division of total revenue increased by 13% in the year of 2012. And to go back with the threat number 4, availability of restaurant options in most places is abundant. So to go back, they can actually gain competitive advantage with other available restaurants that are readily available with a very strong distribution of network. And the next one would be WO strategies, whereby weaknesses and opportunities strategies. Have a competitive price as large population of consumers are seeking deals on cheaper fast food option. So this is taken from weakness 5. Whereby the trend nowadays, the competition is being based on price. And opportunity 3, whereby new trends in consumer behavior, they are seeking on cheaper and fast food options. So to go back, they can actually have a competitive price. They can look back on what are the prices being set by the competitors, and they can actually try to hedge and try to set a new price whereby they to still remain competitive in this business. And the next one will be invest in adjacent product segments to overcome long-term debt of $1.53 billion. This was taken from weakness 1, whereby their long-term debt has rose slightly to $1.53 billion. And also opportunity 5. Stable free cash flow provides opportunities to invest in adjacent product segments. So since they have stable, to go back, so since they already have stable free cash flow coming into the business, they can actually try to use that to invest in adjacent product segments, so that they could overcome the debt of 1.53 billion. And the last one would be WT strategies, whereby weaknesses and threat strategies to implement competitive prices for the food products to compete with rival firms. This was taken from weakness 5. Competition based on price, as we said earlier, and also threat 5. High price competitiveness among rival firms. So to go back, they can actually implement competitive price. This is quite similar to the previous one that I've already discussed. They can actually come up with a more competitive price to stay competitive with their rival firms, and so that they will not end up in losses and make up more profit. That's all.
So for now is space matrix, which is the strategy, position and action evaluation space matrix for Domino's Pizza. So space matrix is 4-quadrant framework to indicate a strategy for an organization whether to take an aggressive, competitive, conservative or defensive strategy. So for Domino's Pizza, it is classified under competitive quadrant. So this is the score for the Dominos Pizza. For x-axis score is 2.8 and y-axis score is negative 2.0. So the reason why Domino's Pizza being classified in competitive quadrant is because of 3 primary factors. The first one is because due to Domino's Pizza long-term debt rose slightly to 1.53 billion US dollar. So the next one is because due to intense competition within the fast food industry, where Domino's Pizza is one of fast food outlet. And the last one is due to Domino's Pizza offering products that are generally not a healthy food choice for their customer. So the recommendation for Domino's Pizza under this space matrix is first, Domino's should consider adding a line of salads, a healthy menu in their menu. And the next one is Domino's Pizza should develop the promising market outside US, such as Turkey, India and Japan, by adding 80 stores for each country. And the last one is Domino's Pizza should restructure its organizational structure by geographic division, because before this Domino's Pizza only apply organizational structure by their functional division.
So based on the Domino's Pizza case, so as you can see, I will explain about the Boston Consulting Group matrix. So we can say as a BCG matrix. So here we have a Domino's Pizza have a 4 segment of business, which are domestic company owned stores, domestic franchise, domestic supply chain and international. So as you can see that domestic company owned store have a revenue of 3 to 4 million, domestic franchise 195, domestic supply chain have a 942, international have a 217. So total of the revenue for the 2012 is 1678. So the percent of the revenue, as you can see from here, domestic company have a domestic company owned store have a 90%, domestic franchise have a 12%, domestic supply chain have a 56%, international have a 13%. So as you can see from the case, the competitive market share have a 60%, which is from the Pizza Hut. So the calculation for the relative market share is based on percent of the division over percent of the market share. So for example, 90% divided by 60%, you will get a 0.3. So for the industry growth, we have a -4 for the domestic company. Domestic company owned stores. For domestic franchise, we have a 4%. Domestic supply chain, we have a 1.5. International we have 8.5%. So based on this, we look at the graph of the Boston Consulting Group. So this is the Boston Consulting Group matrix graph. So we will plot that for the y-axis, we put the industry growth rate. For the x-axis, we put the relative market share. So we have a question mark, star, dots, and cash cow. So for the three business segments, which are international, domestic franchise, domestic supply chain, we put a star as based on the industry growth rate and relative market share. For the domestic company owned store, we have a dots quadrant because of the low relative market share and road industry growth rate. Okay, so next we will continue to the internal and external metrics. So for the internal and external metrics, we have IFE scores and EFE scores. The IFE scores and EFE scores is based on the internal metrics weighted average, and EFE score is based on external metrics weighted average. So for the domestic, for the Domino's Pizza, we have a 4 segment of business. As you can see, the revenue, percent revenue, relative market share is based on the revenue of that particular segment. So the IFE score for the domestic company 0.23. For EFE score is 0.84. For domestic franchise, the IFE score is 0.41. For EFE score is 0.3. Domestic supply chain is IFE score is 0.81, and EFE score is 0.43. So international EFE score is 1.35. EFE score we have 1.38. So based on this figure, we can see that international we have a higher IFE scores and EFE score. So if compared to the international have a higher score both of the IFE and EFE. So this is the graph for the internal and external metrics. So for the y-axis, we have the IFE total weighted score, and for the x-axis, we have the EFE total weighted score. For the higher weighted, we have a strong, average, weak, and high, medium, low, according to the EFE and IFE score. So for the four business segment of Dominos, so we can see that the international have a slightly high from all business segment. We have an international here. So the lowest one we have a domestic franchise, which is have a low in IFE score and low IFE score and EFE scores. So for the average, medium, low is domestic company owned store, and for the second lowest is domestic supply chain. So based on the overall of this, the Domino's Pizza business segment have a weak and low for the internal and external metrics. However, is different based on the IFE total weighted score and EFE total weighted score. So that's all.
So the next one is the grand strategy matrix for Domino's Pizza. So the grand strategy is instrument for creating alternative and different strategies. So we can see here, Domino's Pizza have 4 divisions, which is domestic company owned stores, domestic franchise, international division, and domestic supply chain. So 3 of the division is under quadrant 1 between rapid market growth and strong competitive position, while the one domestic company-owned stores is classified under quadrant 3. So, the reason for all 4 division is classified, the 3 one is under quadrant 1 and the last one under quadrant 3. This is primary factors for it to happen. The first one, why the domestic owned store by Dominos is classified under quadrant 3 is due to Domino's strategy to have all of its stores owned and operated by franchisees. So Dominos basically, they are not focused to own many stores by itself, but they prefer for franchise their stores. So for the other division which is classified in quadrant 1 is due to Dominos apply backward integration strategy, and Dominos offer an attractive franchising option in the QSR market because overhead and investment is generally cheaper than competing firms, and steadily growing international appetite for US fast food. So the below 3 primary factors is the reason for the 3 division of Domino's Pizza is being classified in quadrant 1. So here are recommendations for Domino's Pizza. The first one, Domino's should add 6 new supply chain centers outside US to facilitate the expansion of international division. The next one, Dominos should consider to diversify its product line in domestic franchise market, such as adding a variety of healthy sandwiches which is related to dough-based and fast food industry. And the last one is Dominos should create special recipe which suit the taste of local people with different races and cultures for its international division. So that's all for grand strategy matrix for Domino's Pizza.
Okay, now I will proceed with the stage 3. After finishing the stage 1 and stage 2, we will proceed with the stage 3, which is called the quantitative strategic planning matrix. Using this stage, we will make a decision on what alternative the best to be implemented in the company. We all know that even though we suggest many options to be implemented, but according to the money constraint in the company, we have to choose one best alternative to be implemented. So, in this case, in Domino's case, we have chosen 2 best alternatives, which is to diversify product line by adding salad and sandwiches, and to develop promising market outside of US, such as Turkey, India, and Japan. I will expand on the EFE, external factor evaluation, which is the opportunity and the trade. We will follow the EFE based on what have done in stage 1, and we will evaluate the opportunity based on the alternative chosen using the attractiveness score, which is 1 to 5. Okay, for example, here I choose barrier to entry relatively low for the industry. We choose 4 as an attractiveness score because if the barriers is low, then it is easier for Dominos to penetrate into the market to diversify the product line by adding salad and sandwiches. And for trade, let me choose one example, which is new trend in the consumer behavior. We choose 5 attractiveness scores since new trend in consumer behavior where customer more likely to buy are more healthy minded will shift to salad and sandwiches. Therefore, we give 5 score of attractiveness. To calculate the total attractiveness score, we just multiply the weight and the attractiveness score, and we will get the amount of total attractiveness score to be summed up with the IFE and to compare the amount between 2 alternatives. Now I will pass to my friend to help me to explain on the IFE.
So, my name is and I will continue presenting on QSPM on the on this trend, you can see that develop into promising market almost all have 4 scores, while the diversify into product lines such as sandwich and salad mostly have 3 scores. This is because these threats mostly it will affect more on the strategy to develop into new promising market, such as international division of total revenue increase in 2012. It doesn't affect on the diversify of product line, because product line doesn't focus on the international division. Instead of develop into new promising market outside US, means that it really will affect the international division revenue. So same as the strong distribution network and strong dealer and supplier community, because the company needs to make sure that if they want to pursue the strategy, they need to make sure that the distribution network and dealer and supplier community is strong, to make sure that the strategy is really can be implemented. So for the weaknesses, there is only one weaknesses factor that may affect the develop into new promising market. It is somewhat attractive to develop into new promising market, because due to the competition based on price, because the company needs to make sure what is the price offered by their competitors in the new market, to make sure that their price is in the same range of price with their competitors in the new market. But it doesn't really affect the diversify of new product line, because diversify into new product line is somewhat more focused on to attract customer with healthy eating behavior. So the sum of the total attractiveness scores is 2.62 for diversifying into new product line, while the develop into new promising market has 2.83 sum of total attractiveness score. On the analysis, the develop into promising market outside the US has a higher score than diversified into product line through addition of salad and sandwiches. So the higher sum of total attractiveness score of develop into new promising market means that strategy is more attractive than diversified product line by addition of salad and sandwiches. So based on the analysis, we suggest that Dominos should add more stores in the new promising market, such as Japan. So that have promising market for fast food products, to ensure that their profitability in their international division. So I think that's all from us.